as 6th graders last year, so we're really super excited to be able to take them this year. We'll make sure we do our safety protocols and everything, try to keep everybody as safe and healthy as possible, return them in the same condition that we took them in. I'll start with a presentation. Mrs. T put it together for us. She has attended this trip before, so she gets some inside knowledge. So I'm very grateful for her for putting that together. So we'll look that over here. All right, we're going to leave on Tuesday, the 25th of January. We want to be here at 6:30 so that our bus can pull out at 7. It's going to take us some time, maybe even more than maybe expected, because we're going to have so much luggage and baggage, snow pants and snow boots and all that kind of stuff we have to manage and get to the right spot. If you can't get your child to school by that time, you need to make sure you have other arrangements. Somebody has to bring them. If they ride the bus in that morning, they'll be too late or will be already gone. And same kind of thing for Friday when we return. It'll be in the late afternoon, evening. All depends on weather. You just never know for the end of January. We'll tell students we have phones to let the parents know where we're at when we're in Bay City, just so you have a heads up. And I think I can still get everybody online somehow. So all of you that are going will get a special reminder. I've been communicating through Google Classroom or Remind through the math group, but not everyone is going, so not everybody needs to know. So we'll make our own, and I will send out a text too through that Remind app. So you have a better idea of when to be here. We have medication forms and emergency forms. You can take them home with you tonight. And anybody that is missing today, I'll send that home with students tomorrow. In addition to this, I need a participation form. Most students have that in already. That was due in December to help me understand like how many people were going and who and that kind of thing. But at this point, we're getting right into it with the emergency form and medication form. The medication form has 2 parts to it. It talks about the medication that is prescribed by a doctor that will be administered by myself, Laker staff, and then the bottom half is about the over-the-counter medications. If their student has a headache or something, we can give them Tylenol or ibuprofen, whatever you tell us we can do ahead of time. And then the emergency form, if anything happens, we need to know how to get a hold of you. And if we are going to the emergency room or something, we need insurance information, so that's part of that as well, so that we can get them care while we're gone if we need to. We have to have both of those forms. If something does happen, we need to have that information. So definitely they both have to be turned in to go. And again, added to that is the participation form, and that goes right to the camp. Okay, so we talked a little bit about this already, but if your child does take medication, you'll turn that into myself when we leave on Tuesday morning, and I'll keep it all together. Your medication form will tell me how much and what time and all the specifics, so I'll have that all, like that'll be my thing. Make sure everybody stays on their schedule there. We put it in a special container, and then I believe, does it even get locked up when we get to the camp? So it will not be accessed by anyone else. a Laker, that's a Laker staff member, will administer, and that will be me. And then same with the over-the-counter medicine we talked about. The students can keep that with them and use it as needed as long as it's not on the floor. All right, so for packing, yeah, so it's Michigan, right? And we are going up north, so you do expect to have a little bit more snow than we have here, but it's always still a random guess on how much snow. So we're going to be prepared with boots and hats and gloves, you know, all the things. I understand that they do a really nice job of an outdoor activity and then an indoor activity and then an outdoor activity and then an indoor activity for each of the groups, so that you're not outdoors for 3 sessions in a row and your ice cubes by the time you come in. So I think that's really nice of them. But they say to bring an extra pair of tennis shoes or slippers, because when you are going back and forth like that, and the Great Hall room, I don't know, is then full of snow boots and snow pants and everything's all wet. And then our socks will get wet, so that's the slippers are just for that. Keep your socks dry. Towels, yeah, recommended. Sheet, or you could bring a sleeping bag as well if that works better for you. Deodorant, right? We're 7th grade now, we use deodorant. Please send some deodorant with your child. All right, and no outside food. They'll feed us while we're there really well, I understand too. Yeah. Oh, yes, label everything, right? So because we're from a small rural area, everyone's shopping at Meijer or Walmart, and there's 2 choices at each store. So a lot of times we're gonna end up with very similar or exact boots and things, so make sure you put your name on there for us, and we'll keep them separated. All right, I got some questions about cell phones. Students can bring their cell phone for the bus ride. It is a long ride and keep them occupied if they would like to have it. But when we get off the bus, we'll collect those, and those also get locked up so nobody's messing with anybody else's stuff. When we come back on Friday, back loading up the bus, then they get their cell phones back. And that is a camp rule. Somebody asked me about this earlier today, and I said, I think it's fine if you text your mom that night before you go to bed or something. But the camp, we looked into it now, the camp says no phones while you're there. But definitely if you want to bring it for the ride, you can. Okay, that's it. Perfect. Like that. Yeah, okay, so with COVID still being here, we will be able to test everyone before we go, make sure everybody's negative. That way, we're in a close bus with each other. We have to wear a mask on the bus, just like if you're coming and going from school. It is a longer ride, but we have a pit stop halfway through, okay? And so, we'll be able to take a mask break outside for that. But we're thinking to do those tests Monday. You want to talk more about that?
So, sorry. So we're thinking Monday because it's going to take a significant amount of time for us to test everybody in the grade. And so if we did it Monday, we can start doing it the last 2 to 3 hours of the day and get those tests. And then the remainder of the students who didn't get tested, we can do on Tuesday morning. The concern was that we didn't want to have to ask you to be here at like 4 a.m. To get all of the tests administered. It does take a while. So.
Chaperones too? Are you testing chaperones as well?
I guess we hadn't considered that. It wouldn't be a bad idea. That would probably be,
I don't know, I'm just asking, but.
I guess that we would have to think about that, and then we can answer back in a email. That's a good question.
I don't
We hadn't
know.
considered it, so.
I'm not going, but he is.
Okay. So Jimmy, you wanna be tested?
Do it for our safety, Jimmy.
I
Yes,
can do it for you.
Do it for the team.
All right, I don't know what you're wondering, so I will open it up for questions.
How are we supposed to pack for them? Are they taking one big bag, or are they?
How are they going to pack? You can pack in however suits you. If you want a big, huge duffel bag, you need 2 bags, and carry the snow pants, however it works. We're
They're not
going to be
limited to
taking,
one bag or anything?
no.
So we didn't limit the 6th grade to 1 bag. Some people just brought huge garbage bags. And then other people had 2 or 3 like luggage. Just make sure it's labeled, because there are going to be duplicates, and then it's hard to hand it out at the end.
We'll take a trailer in addition to the buses for all of that kind of stuff.
Don't they have to haul their own up the hill?
Do they have to haul their own up the hill?
They do. They do have to haul it up the hill.
I'm not sure you can do that.
So
Keep it light.
maybe they have sleds in the winter. I'm not sure.
Oh.
All right, little toboggan carry on. Noah?
So are we gonna be like sleeping with our stuff, or is it like a spot where we can put it? Is it gonna be like in our bed with us at night, or are we gonna like have a special area for it? Cause I don't wanna bring like a million bags and have them like flooded everywhere. Is there like a spot out of the way where we can put our stuff?
Is there a spot out of the way where you can put your things, or do you have to sleep with them? And I would think you have to sleep with them.
There is a small area. If you had 1 or 2 bags, you'd be able to fit your stuff with no problem.
Yes.
Do we have to get, send money with them too? For the stops or anything? Where they can get a
Do they
snack
need
or?
extra money and
That's a good idea. So if we do stop in West Branch both times, and then there's actually a Leelenau store if students want to purchase anything there. They do not have to bring extra money though. It's not a requirement.
we'll have snacks for the way up and the way back, so that's not necessary.
So we don't
but-
have to or bring anything, have them pack any food or anything to take with them?
Nope.
Okay.
The camp doesn't allow outside food, so whatever we don't eat on the way there, can't bring in anyway. And then they'll send us with a lunch or feed us right before, however that ends up working out with our time, so, we'll have snacks on the way back. But yeah, there is a store, if you wanna bring money from the store, you can.
There's a price
I'll give
list on
you
the
your money.
site.
They'll hold on to it for you.
Like sweatshirts and hats.
Alright, so if you go to the Leelenau website, they have a list of all of the things that you can buy from their store and prices. Sure.
Do the kids get to pick like one friend?
Do the kids get to pick a
Like that
friend?
they wanna be with in a group?
Yep, so, I put together their day group, they have a day group and then a nighttime group, and their night group, for the winter, they have 2 cabins, they're heated, so they're nicer than the ones that you get in the summer that the wind blows through, right? Yes, they're actually good ones. But then there's only 2, but they're big, so we'll have the boys in one, the girls in the other, but I believe I'm understanding that there's rooms or sections within those bigger cabins, so, we'll get them to have a nighttime group with just their gender, and those I'll put together, but they're daytime groups. I asked everybody for their input, and I haven't gotten all the responses back yet, but when I do, then I'll put together their groups. Could be boys and girls in the same group. Somebody had asked, if it can be from other class sections of our math that we're in, that we do this in, and yes, it could be anybody in 7th grade. I also asked if there was anybody in their 7th grade that they did not want to be in their group, so I will definitely keep that in mind and make the groups. I guaranteed everybody at least one from their list. Maybe not everybody. Did you have a question?
Yeah, all the chaperones ride the bus too then?
So we have to have at least one chaperone not ride the bus and pull the trailer. But I don't know that it's necessarily required to drive.
In the fall, we had two, so we had the Laker staff, male and female on each bus, and then one other chaperone for each, and then the rest of the parents drove. So if you want to ride the bus, that is an option, but if you would like to drive, that's okay too. We will need at least one chaperone for each to ride the bus though.
And if you do drive, I would love for you to follow us and stop when we stop, cause then I'll have all the kids, and I'll need you chaperoning. Other questions?
We did, although I'll tell you, it's very structured in terms of time, and I'll tell you that in the main hall, there's Wi-Fi, but everywhere else, you have basically 1x service. So you can take phone calls, but you can't get data on your phone. They don't take the chaperones' phones, just the students.
We're gonna get a sheet of the, like, the snow pants, the gloves.
Yep.
Okay. So the whole-
Thought about that today. Did not follow through on it, so I don't have it today, but
Oh, that's okay, I thought,
did come
oh,
home
so take a
in
picture of that?
December too. I might have a copy. But I would make sure everybody gets another copy. Here, I'll pick out all of it. And if you can connect to Google Classroom, there's a tab in there along with quizzes and tests and extra help or whatever. Leelenau Outdoor Center is one of those tabs as well, so I will put scan and upload these things on there as well. So if your child's paper gets lost in the bottom of their book bag, you still know what's going on. Has anybody had another child attend?
No, into the winter.
Oh, not winter, fall, also fun. Both? I'm super excited. It's bad.
If you've been there in the fall, but you haven't been there in the winter, the accommodations are actually a lot warmer in the winter.
Well, yeah. The accommodations are warmer in the winter. They
You get a
need
heated
to.
lot instead of a drafty cab.
Right. Yep.
Bathrooms are better too.
Bathrooms are good too, yeah.
Would you like the ropes course or whatever? Is that
In the fall, you might do that. We don't do it in the winter. So some of the things that we're going to do, snow accommodating, we sled and we snowshoe and cross-country ski. We do a lot of team building stuff inside. There's story times, just fun, humorous, fun stuff. Yeah.
We built a fort too in the woods
Okay.
last time, that was all of our favorite.
Did you track animals?
We had like this much snow when we were there.
Okay, lots of snow.
You were amazing.
So we'll be in shape or very exhausted when we get back, trudging
You
through
will
all
get
of
a
that
workout,
snow.
even as a chaperone. Be prepared.
Yes.
So, a couple of us were talking earlier that there's a basketball game scheduled.
That's been
Has it been changed? Okay.
Basketball game that was scheduled is rescheduled.
Yeah, you're late, so I might have missed it, but do we know approximately what time we're expected back Friday?
I would guess like 5:30 or 6, right?
It's usually between 4 and 5, but it'll be based upon roads.
Okay. Between 4 and 5 depending on roads. Yes.
It says about like a couple pair of gloves, what if they get them wet? Is there a place to dry them out?
Yep.
They have a nice drying room.
They have a drying room to dry your wet things.
It does a nice job of keeping things, it's pretty remarkable how they space things out and things have just about enough time to dry before you have to put them back on.
Yeah, they got us inside for a while the wet stuff is drying while we're thawing out, and then they send us back outside. We get wet and cold, we come back in. Yeah, really nice system they have. Excited.
I think my only question is, if there's like a really bad storm, time everybody's supposed to go, are you guys gonna say let's still go, or what are you gonna do? Like, just
Bad
curious.
storm on Tuesday morning.
We would probably postpone it until we could go.
Okay,
Postpone.
didn't know if we're gonna be like, let's take on the storm. It's in Michigan, why not, right? Just curious.
We'll wait till it's safe.
Okay.
What if we get stuck there?
Oh no.
Then we will have even more fun if we get stuck there.
They have the best food, so you
And we will come home when
See how
it's
long you can
safe.
stay on the road for?
Well, if you think of any more questions, you can email me, you can call the office and they'll forward you over. You can text me through math right now. We'll set up one for all the parents, students within the trip that's attending. Text, email, call, I guess that gets it all. And I will make sure if I don't know the answer, I'll find it out. And I'm taking your most precious, valuable asset, your prized possession for 4 days. It's a huge responsibility, and I want you to know I don't take that lightly, and we'll grow as people while we're gone and come back better than we left.
Can I just ask that like no one sings me happy birthday, cause I'm gonna be turning 13
Oh, we're totally singing to you. It's happening. Embrace it. It's a bigger deal, it sounds like it might be, than just singing. Well, thank you so much for coming out. And again, if you have any other questions, let me know, and I will get those answered for you and help you feel at